PlayStation's first foray into the world of LEGO has its charming and witty moments, but doesn't offer good enough reasons to stay within its brick-ified world. If you had told me prior to playing LEGO Horizon Adventures that an action platformer comprised solely of plastic bricks would rank as one of the prettiest games I'd played all year, I wouldn't have believed you. And yet, here I am, ducking in the tall grass, pulling back on my flamebow string as a mini Aloy to try and knock off a machine creature's core component. This is a brick-ified adaptation of PlayStation's crown jewel franchise, alright, one that nails the toy-like aesthetic unlike any LEGO game before it. However, a game can only get so far on its looks, and sadly it's in most other areas where LEGO Horizon Adventures lets itself down. There's a fun time to be had here for sure, providing you can get past the extremely limited level design and repetitive gameplay. Sticking with the visuals, I'm not sure how the developers at both Guerrilla Games and Studio Gobo have done it, but they've managed to create a video game that appears almost exactly as LEGO does in the real world. Whereas previous installments helmed by TT Games very much looked like video game assets given a LEGO makeover, in LEGO Horizon Adventures the opposite is true. Light reflections bounce off of character models and in-game locations in a natural and believable way, to the extent that I often wished I could reach inside my TV and pick them up. Even the way characters bumble about rather than walk is extremely convincing. This, coupled with an overall impressive attention to detail and absolutely everything being rendered in bricks, even elemental assets such as ice and fire, helps make LEGO Horizon Adventures a true treat for the eyes. This being an abridged version of 2017's original Horizon Zero Dawn, anyone familiar with Guerrilla's debut entry will roughly know which story beats are likely to be hit throughout LEGO Horizon Adventures' brief but sensible 8-hour runtime. It serves as a snappy retelling of Aloy's origin story, witty and self-aware enough that I honestly didn't mind playing through events I was already acquainted with, especially since seeing them play out in linear fashion gives proceedings a much different flavour compared to bumping across them in a true open world setting. This does mean that certain cataclysmic scenes are skated over as opposed to fully delved into, but the remit with LEGO Horizon Adventures is to be funny and charming above all else, and it largely succeeds in this thanks to sharp writing and lighter performances from the returning voice cast.
Oh, that was a good one.
Be careful!
Oh.
It's during the actual act of playing LEGO Horizon Adventures where the cracks begin to show, because for as much as it tries to affectionately adapt the combat and exploration tenets of the main series, such as the inclusion of Aloy's area scanning focus tool and the ability to shoot off specific machine parts, not all work as well as intended. Scanning using the focus, for instance, reveals the weak points of enemies as expected, but it's of limited use when you can only shoot in one direction. This is where the isometric perspective hinders rather than helps LEGO Horizon Adventures a lot of the time, as any combat depth will always lack the finesse due to the restricted, pulled out view. Stealth too is a factor that Guerrilla Games and Studio Gobo have tried to faithfully translate in the game. And true, while it's possible to hide in the tall grass and temporarily skulk around enemies, doing so only buys you limited time when all hell always inevitably breaks loose and foes become instantly aware of you as soon as you shoot that first arrow or spear. Funnily enough, from a gameplay perspective, it's when LEGO Horizon Adventures isn't trying to be Horizon that it's most successful, as seen from all 4 playable characters, Aloy, Varl, Teersa and Erend, offering slightly different combat styles, with the latter of the 4 focused on up-close melee hammer hits, and Teersa, as the de facto mother of the group, electing to lob bombs rather than projectiles. Giving such side characters extra focus offers a touch more variety to the otherwise typical and repetitive combat loop of dino busting that LEGO Horizon Adventures constantly makes apparent, especially when combined with limited use rare weapons and gadgets you can collect, from summoning a food truck capable of bombarding enemies with exploding hot dogs, to blast boots that offer a double jump and spew flames from above. All are fun to use in the moment. I just wish there was a lot more of them to discover. In the end, defeating foes always boils down to endlessly firing at, or hitting, in the case of Erend, enemies to wear them down. A fact that stings even more when you recognise the severe absence of puzzles. Every level of LEGO Horizon Adventures essentially plays out the same, with you venturing into one of 4 biomes in a bid to track down a specific machine part. So far, so simple. However, while the snowy, jungle, and desert locations you explore are stunning to look at, there's very little else to do in them outside of battle. Sure, there are brief moments of exploration where venturing off the beaten path may see you find a hidden chest packed with studs or an insta-build object, but none ever see you venture very far and lack the type of secrets, Easter eggs, and puzzles previous LEGO games excelled so well at. It's in this area where you can sense Guerrilla Games and Studio Gobo still finding their feet, in stark contrast to TT Games, who spent years packing stages with fun things to see and do. Even the ways you can customize your home base of Mother's Heart feel a tad surface level. Though packed with plenty of iconography and features from classic LEGO lines such as LEGO Ninjago and LEGO City, rarely did I feel compelled to change up the buildings or colours of my base, unless it was to unlock challenge-specific gold LEGO bricks, which, alongside tighter levels called Apex Machine Hunts, form much of the still limited endgame. Mother's Heart is just as characterful and charming to witness as any of the characters found within it, though expanding it with new looks and objects always felt somewhat arbitrary. There's no denying just how much LEGO Horizon Adventures comes up short with everything other than its visuals and genuinely funny characterizations. Still, LEGO Horizon Adventures gets the job done as a wholesome 3D platformer that serves as a good entry point for younger players. We at Mirror Gaming give LEGO Horizon Adventures a 3 out of 5. What do you think of the brick-based gameplay? Be sure to let me know in the comment section below, and consider subscribing to the Mirror Gaming YouTube channel to stay up to date with even more videos like this. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.